Hi, I'm Nicola Richardson, the People Mentor, and today I want to talk to you about 15 ways to manage difficult people. Now, a lot of this is based on my experience in the past, from 33 years of leading teams and managing as well, and also projects. And yeah, I've met some difficult people in my time. So I've pulled together the 15 ways that can help you. Hope you find this useful. Let's begin. Management and leadership can be really difficult at times. If you think about that, your team is a melting pot of people from different backgrounds with different personalities, then managing them can be quite challenging at times, especially when you find some of your employees difficult. When difficult employees behave in a way that causes conflict or other problems, it can really damage workplace relationships. It's a drain on time, energy, and productivity, and your business will inevitably suffer. So let's go through the tips for managing difficult people and creating a harmonious working environment that allows you to focus on doing what you do best, running and growing your business. So firstly, you need to distinguish between poor performance and misconduct. Sometimes this is clear and sometimes it's not. If your team isn't working well together, is it just a clash of personalities? Or do you have an employee who is clearly bullying others or constantly pushing boundaries? As a business owner and manager, it's your job to decide what's acceptable and to deal with people's behaviour when it's not. Be clear in your mind, and then with the help of HR, write up what misconduct looks like and what poor performance looks like. Next, talk to difficult employees. This can be the tough bit. Many business owners find it difficult to have conversations that might lead to conflict. But if issues aren't dealt with, they'll only get worse in the long run. You'll often find that difficult employees are the ones who feel like they aren't being listened to. So have a conversation with them and let them tell you how they feel. But while it is important to listen, you have to explain to your employee clearly, calmly, and tactfully that their behaviour or performance has fallen below the standard that you expect, and outline what will happen if things don't improve. This isn't about laying down the law. You've told your employee what you expect, but you also need to be prepared to help them reach their potential. This is where the GROW model comes in. As a business owner and manager, one of your most important jobs is to coach employees to do their best, whether this is by learning new skills or finding a solution to issues that are holding them back. So what is the GROW model? The GROW model is a framework that will help you successfully coach or mentor your employees. GROW stands for goal, reality, options, will or way forward. In simple terms, applying the model is a bit like planning a journey. First, you have to decide where you're going, thinking about where you are at the moment, then consider the various ways you can get to your destination. Lastly, you have to make sure you're prepared and committed to making the journey and dealing with any problems you might encounter along the way. So here's how to use the GROW model with your employees. Decide what the goal is. What do you want to change in terms of your employees' performance or behaviour? This desire to change is the goal. Make sure that the goal is SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-framed. Think about how you will know when the employee has reached their goal and how you will know when the problem or issue has been solved. Try to consider the bigger picture here too. Does the goal fit in with the employee's own career goals or the overall business goals? Then ask your employee about their current reality. You can't solve any problem without having a complete understanding of the current situation. Ask them what they feel is causing a problem or issue and what effect this is having on them. Ask if they've already taken steps to try and improve the situation. Next, look at the options. Work with your employee to come up with as many possible ways of achieving their goal as possible and help them decide on the best options. Don't just tell them what to do. Allowing them to come up with decisions is much more empowering than having solutions forced upon them. Lastly, ask your employee to commit to action. Ask them what they will do to move forward, keep themselves motivated, and deal with any obstacles. And also decide when you'll review their progress with them to keep them on track. The next way to manage difficult people is to have strength-based conversations. When you're talking to your employees, what do you tend to focus on? Do you talk about what they're doing well or what they could do better? Many managers focus on solving problems rather than thinking about how they can help employees do their best. But focusing on employee strengths can improve engagement and help your business improve and grow. Remember, your business is only as strong as your team, and if you recognise and appreciate your employees, you help people realise and develop their strengths, and you celebrate success and allow for failure, you'll have a much more productive and successful business. Something to consider. It's also important to keep things professional. While it can be extremely frustrating to see an employee not living up to their potential, and it can be tempting to get involved in the issues that are affecting their performance, especially if you feel like you can help, don't. Becoming personally involved to the extent that it affects your judgment as their manager is far from ideal. Instead, show empathy and ask if there's anything you can do to make things easier for them at work, and point them in the direction of other sources of help and advice if appropriate. Next, don't focus on winning an argument. When dealing with a difficult employee, you should focus on how you can move past incidents and deal with problems. It's not about proving that you were right and they were wrong. Think about the bigger picture. You want to move forward and grow your business with your employees supporting you, not resenting you. When there are problems, separate the problems from the people. Avoid personal attacks and don't label people as being too sensitive or too much of a hothead to accept your comments and feedback. Making things personal will only escalate the problem, and being afraid to confront people means that things will never change. Treat everyone the same and be fair and consistent. Also important to acknowledge that you're different. Often, problems occur simply because you and an employee have different ways of doing things. Acknowledge this and tell them you're willing to work with them to find a solution that is acceptable to you both. Always be mindful when you need to give feedback, and if you need to give negative feedback, do it constructively. Speaking to an employee about their behaviour in an accusatory way will only make them more defensive, and you're less likely to find a solution to the issue you need to deal with. It's far better if you relate their poor performance, lateness, or attendance record, for example, to how it affects the business. Are they off sick so that it puts pressure on other employees? Or are they making mistakes that reflect badly on your business? If so, say so. And it might be that you're the one receiving feedback in the form of criticism. Learn to accept it. Sometimes an employee will tell you something you might not want to hear, whether it's about their opinion of you, how you do things, the business, or a co-worker. Don't fly off the handle, even though it can be really tempting. Listen to what they have to say, and then consider whether their criticism has any foundation. Let them know why things are as they are, and that you are willing to take the feedback on board. Next, set clear objectives for your employees. If employees know their role and they know what is expected of them, they'll also know when they are not meeting the standards you require. Setting clear jobs and performance objectives will not only help you carry out more effective performance reviews, it will help you to have something concrete to refer to when you address performance issues with an employee. What about making patience one of your virtues? If you really believe that with some mentoring and monitoring, an employee can change, then be patient. Things won't suddenly become different overnight. Meet with them regularly to set milestones for performance reviews and to check their progress. Where an employee's performance hasn't been up to standard, make sure you record everything. Note down instances of poor performance or behaviour, who was involved, what happened, and what effect it had on the business. This provides evidence for any disciplinary procedure you might want to take, and it will also help you to confront your employee with facts, not opinions, when you speak to them. It's a good idea to have an employee handbook to refer to, that employees can't plead ignorance of policies and procedures. This should include details about disciplinary action and the procedure around managing attendance. Every employee should be aware of what is expected of them and of what happens if they aren't meeting expectations. And at this point, I'd also say it's a really useful tool to have a behaviours framework and the values framework of the business. Next, be sure to ask for help when you need it. When you're having trouble dealing with an employee, ask for help. Nobody has all the answers, and it can help to get the perspective of someone you can trust, whether this is a friend, a mentor, or a business consultant. And finally, sometimes being a business owner means knowing when something has run its course and cutting your losses. If an employee is good at their job, but the negative things they bring to the business outweigh this, it might be time to cut your losses and let them go. The last thing you want is to lose other employees because they can't stand working with this person, or let them make you lose focus on your business. Before you decide on terminating their employment, it's worth getting advice from an HR professional who will tell you what steps might be appropriate to take in your situation. This might help you avoid unfair dismissal claims or a messy dispute. Well, that's it for the 15 ways to manage difficult people. I hope that you find this useful. If you would like the ebook, which goes into a little bit more detail, then why not DM me or write in the comments so that I can send you the link. And I'm sure that you will find it helpful. On another note, I am commencing my membership site shortly. This is for small business owners, either new employers who've taken on employees, perhaps from the Kickstarters, or who have less than 5 employees. It will be advancing to leaders, managers, but this is the initial membership. It's going to be covering things like induction, mindset, having difficult conversations, the art of delegation, how to approach that conversation that you're dreading, the standards that you need for your business, including your vision, your mission, behaviours, values, and roles and responsibilities. So it's going to be quite encompassing, and it will be added to as we go along. There's also going to be a support group where you can pop in and have discussions and share your outcomes from the training that you've done. There's workbooks and templates, and there's even going to be live training, which will look at embedding some of that online video training that you've done. So if you're interested, just DM me and I can send you a link to give you more detail about it. So that's it for today. Thank you for listening. It's a People Mentor signing off. Take care.